Hi Bethany, it's Jim, and here's my bi-weekly, bi-coastal curiosity. You asked 3 great questions, and I'm going to try and give you 3 equally great answers. Also, you're currently winning on that scoreboard we started, so I better answer all 3 of these questions to tie things up. Question number 1. I am quick to try a new app, and even quicker to delete it. I try to keep the apps on my phone to a minimum, partly because I'm an aspiring minimalist, but largely because I like to free up space on my phone so I can capture time-lapse videos all over New York City. But to answer your question, the winner of my current app obsession is one called Waterminder. It's a well-designed app that reminds me to stay hydrated and allows me to keep track of all the water that I drink. Because as a wise man once said,
the very act of keeping stats on something makes you more mindful of the thing that you're doing.
I want to pay attention to the world around me and the world within me, living this life on purpose rather than accidentally stumbling and bumbling my way through it. Because let's be honest, I do plenty of stumbling and bumbling as it is. And if an app like Waterminder can help me live with greater care and intention, not to mention scratch my itch to quantify everything, then I'm all for it. My only critique is that it forces you to choose between a rigid gender binary, and you know how much I hate rigid binaries, especially when it comes to gender. Question number 2. Remember the stumbling and bumbling I just mentioned? I'm pretty sure it's applicable to this question too. When it comes to being and becoming a pastor, I have stumbled and bumbled my way through. In the past 10 years, I've been a pastor at 3 different churches, and I've tried to retire twice, only something kept drawing me back. I guess that's the whole call people talk about, albeit mine was a bit of a reluctant one. Most of that reluctance still comes from the oversaturation of white, straight, cisgender men in ministry leadership positions. And it's not that people like me can't be pastors, it's just that we've had a monopoly on the profession for way too long. I want to live in a world where women and people of color and LGBTQ people are welcomed in all areas of the church. And if that means that I give up my seat at the table so they can have the one that they've deserved far longer than my white male privilege has allowed, well then about damn time. Basically, I like the church, or at least most of the time I do, and I like God, or at least most of the time I do. I like thinking about ideas that make a difference in our lives and in our world and connect me to other people caught up in this same movement. And if that place is called a church and my white male cisgender self will bring some diversity, well then I guess you can call me a pastor. But lately I've taken to calling myself an interaction designer for a progressive faith community. Also location change because it started to rain. I'm under a tree now. If I can help people hold faith and doubt, certainty and curiosity, beer and the Bible, then call me whatever you want. Pastor, designer, human, I'll take any title that allows me to do this work. And your third question, this one's easy. Breathing. Also, location change again because it stopped raining, but I decided if it starts raining again and maybe some lightning, under a tree might be drier but not quite safer, so back to breathing. I want to take time and become aware of my breathing rather than automatically and mindlessly inhaling and exhaling 21,000 times a day. My breathing connects me to myself, to my ideas and creativity, to the world around me, and to this communal metaphor that we call God. God is with me and within me, as close as my very breath. And I better stop here before I turn this into a sermon. Okay, now that the scoreboard is all tied up, I've got a few questions for you, all of them about airplanes. Question number 1, what's your airplane routine? What do you read or watch or listen to or eat or drink, aisle or window, talk to your neighbor or put earphones on right away? And what do you think your routine says about you? Question number 2, if you were hired to help redesign an airplane, what's the first problem you would tackle? And question number 3, what do you think will be the next long-distance mass travel method that comes after the airplane, and will it have more legroom for tall, lanky people like me? Also, I'll give you a bonus point if you answer these questions while flying on an airplane. Okay, see you next week.